been a piping hot minute since I could actually say these words, but my home state of Arizona did something indescribably based.
Breaking news out of Arizona, where the state Supreme Court just made a monumental abortion decision, prospectively enforcing a 159-year-old mandate that is far stricter than the current law that's in place, outright banning abortion at any point by penalty of prison.
But it's an abortion video, so before fallopian Americans fire back with, "You can have an opinion on abortion when you have a vagina," first off, how dare you assume my gender? And second, ring me up and rap to me when you can crap out a kid without a dick and balls or a turkey baster. It's adorable you can adopt or someone can sell away their surrogacy, but a woman in a vacuum is childless. A woman with a vacuum, on the other hand. Gang, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I now reside in the single most anti-abortion state in the Union. Cope and seethe, Texas, cope and profoundly seethe. But the vast majority of the cope has come from the armchair analysts on social media, all insisting in unison some minor variation of, "This means Biden will win Arizona." To which I can only reply, can I get that notarized and in writing? Because if Biden does somehow overcome his current, 5+ point polling deficit in the state, all indications are it'll have hideously little to do with a bunch of slags steaming about their baby killing rights. If I repeat this any more often, I'll have to set it to music. But the 2022 midterms had negative nothing to do with the reversal of Roe v. Wade. Both pre- and post-election polls, as well as exit polls, showed not only was abortion an effective non-issue in driving female turnout in 22, Republicans actually enjoyed a bit of a bump with the broads. It's infinitely more probable that old nose candy McConnell pulling pesos out of key Senate races in swing states and funneling it all into a war chest for a doomed DeSantis presidential campaign was the primary culprit in any electoral disappointment in 2022. Blake Masters was polling within a point of Chairman Mark Kelly when Rhino Ronna McDaniel decided those dollars were best spent on a Florida governor's race where DeSantis was already ahead by 11 octillion points. But black pills are a potent narcotic, and every time I reiterate this, it goes in one orifice and out the other. Which brings me to the most important political and personal lesson you can ever learn in life. Don't listen to what people say, observe what they actually do. Look, socialist slacktivists can beat their boy boobs about how this guarantees a 2024 victory for Biden all they like, but if you peer past their hollow circumlocution and actually consider their actions, it's impossible not to note their conspicuous inaction on abortion at the actual ballot box. If abortion guarantees Democrats decimate all comers, why hasn't a single Arizona Dem put a pro-abortion law before the actual voters yet? Surely if the issue is such a slam dunk for the Dems, even a failed effort could only enhance their electoral prospects in 2024. Almost as if internal polls show they're equally likely to get beyond boofed if they actually try it. For my money, if there is a conspiratorial slant here, it's less likely to sway an electoral result that's far from certain for Democrats, but much more likely to incite paid abortion protesters in conspicuously pristine U-Hauls to pull up for an Arizona State Capitol recital of the Summer of Love. But one point I will readily concede is that this Arizona Supreme Court decision was more conveniently timed than the Lee Harvey Oswald prison transfer, coming as it did only a day after Trump, in the eyes of some of his constituents at least, stepped in a steaming fountain of feces on the issue of abortion.
My view is now that we have abortion where everybody wanted it from a legal standpoint, the states will determine by vote or legislation or perhaps both, and whatever they decide must be the law of the land, in this case, the law of the state. Many states will be different. Many will have a different number of weeks, or some will have more conservative than others, and that's what they will be. It must be remembered that the Democrats are the radical ones on this position because they support abortion up to and even beyond the 9th month. The concept of having an abortion in the later months and even execution after birth, and that's exactly what it is. The baby is born, the baby is executed after birth, is unacceptable, and almost everyone agrees with that.
Sending the issue back to the states? Why, it's almost like the exact principle our nation was founded upon or something. The unmitigated cheek. Every so often I get hit with the Lulbert label, to which my reply is twofold. First, you're confusing me with Styx, my brother from the same mother. In my personal political journey, I've never even sauntered past full-fledged libertarianism. And second, if there are two issues that forever preclude my relocation to the Lulbert zone, they are drugs and abortion. My stance on drug legalization, I will proceed to substantiate in a single word. Colorado. And as for abortion, what can I say? I guess I have a minor moral and ethical quibble with the concept of jamming a pair of scissors into the base of a baby's brainstem and sucking the skull jelly out with a straw like a human pina colada. Persnickety sort that I am. Point being, I'm about as anti-abortion as they come, which is why I want it vanquished once and for all, not merely momentarily through a feckless federal law that'll be overturned practically before its passage. Look, you never Trump types think you want a national abortion ban, but you really don't. And before you hit back with your tired, blonde, bearded yes man memes, how about you rap with the left about how well federally imposed abortion statutes hold up over the longer term, and then get back to me when you're the proud owner of a clue. How long have you been encased in carbonite that you missed the righteous reversal of Roe v. Wade? Despite a plaintiff that repeatedly admitted to perjury on national television, that BS was on the books for 4 decades, folks. Not only did it look permanent, Roe v. Wade lasted longer than Jeffrey Toobin's case of tennis elbow, until all of a sudden, it was aborted in the 147th trimester. Folks, a federal abortion ban is a federal pro-abortion law in disguise. Because if you put all your eggs in the federal ban basket, you're one Democratic majority away from missing more eggs than Taylor Swift. Conversely, if you send this back to the states, some of whom, like my home state of Arizona, now boast a statewide abortion ban, at least you have a solid shot at a permanent solution. And before anyone crows about blue states like California never changing politically, I'd remind you all that when Roe was passed, California was a firmly Republican state. Allow me to put the precariousness of state-level pro-abortion efforts in a contemporary context for you. Michigan, the state with Detroit in it, is one election away from reinstating a 1930 anti-abortion law that their Heath Ledger Joker-looking fake kidnapping plot-inventing governor illegally rescinded in 2022. And the ACLU-affiliated judge who upheld her unconstitutional action is already out of office. Politics moves faster than Chris Christie at Baskin-Robbins. In the immortal words of Deadwood's Al Swearingen, until the race is finished, never mark the wager paid. Abortion doesn't prevent you from becoming a mother. It makes you the mother of a dead child. And it's precisely because I'm impassioned on this issue that I implore you not to exchange long-term victory for the momentary satisfaction of a federal abortion ban that, even if miraculously passed, would be shorter-lived than a Kennedy. Between a ground game that, thanks to people like Scott Pressler, is beginning to rival and even eclipse the DNC machine, and public opinion on abortion approval playing subterranean limbo at the lowest level in 2 decades, if you properly play your magic cards, you are about to be swimming in victories, and only you can back alley Tijuana abort your own efforts. I'd ask why you're so short-sighted, but most of you boomers couldn't peer past the walls of your own duodenum. Abortion, like a Clinton witness's cause of death, is homicide. And like homicide, it's a matter for the states to prosecute. Unlike the Clintons. I'm Razor Fist. I have information that could lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton.
She got impregnated by her troglodytic half-brother and decided to have an abortion.
You know, someday we're gonna get enough people in the Supreme Court to change that law.